Hey there, welcome back. This video was supposed to be slightly different than the end product. I wanted to do like a live recording thing where I talked about the design as I was designing it and, you know, the audio and the video would be synced up, but that's clearly not what's happening right now. See, I recorded all of the audio and video together so I could talk about my process as I was doing it, and I was really excited about that. However, I'm not entirely sure what happened, but the audio got really messed up. Alright, one of my original thoughts actually was a bodysuit. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna subject you to that. Instead, I just sped up all the footage and cut it down and stuff. Anyway, the character we're designing for today is Disparation Young Legacy. So in the Letters Page podcast episode 217, by the way, if you want to check out like all the backstory and Disparation Legacy, you totally can. It's great, check out the wiki page, listen to the episode. But as soon as I saw his design, I immediately thought, oh, I need to make a Young Legacy design for this character so bad. And it was a bit more difficult than I actually expected it to be, but I'm really glad that I did it. One of the most difficult parts actually was translating the constellation pattern, which is the Big Dipper, onto her design because there's just not enough real estate. So I fiddled with this for so long, just different placements, different orientations. I tried flipping it horizontally, I tried flipping it portrait. I was losing my mind. It took so long just to work out where the constellation goes. But eventually, I'm happy with the placement. I changed sort of the star of focus to be that star near the bend there. That star's name, incidentally, is Eliath, and it is the brightest star in that constellation. A detail that I definitely knew when I changed it, and not just something that I chose for convenience. Because I had such a strong idea in my brain of a bodysuit, specifically, and I don't know why. I think in all honesty, it might have been because I saw like some of the later seasons of Supergirl. I didn't see the later seasons of Supergirl. I knew of the later seasons of Supergirl. But that was what I was maybe thinking of. I can't be certain. But I end up ditching the bodysuit idea eventually because I just couldn't get it to work the way I wanted to. Maybe I'll come back to that. But either way, Young Legacy, like, is more of a youthful, fun character anyways, and I think the bodysuit communicates maybe like a more mature character. The boots were so much. You can't see the angle of Legacy's, you can't see from this angle his legs or his shoes, so I don't know what's going on down there. I just guessed based on what Legacy's color patterns are, what maybe probably her boots would look like, but I don't even know if I stick with that for a long period of time. The cape was fun though. I love a half cape. If you look at my designs, you know I love a half cape, and I have to physically stop myself from giving every character a half cape. And I knew from the start I wanted to give her some kind of starburst pattern coming out from the emblem. I just wasn't quite sure what color to make it, or what exactly to do. I wanted to do an asymmetrical thing. It didn't quite work out, but it's fine, I figure it out. The colors, by the way, that you currently see on her are not going to be the final colors. The artwork for Disparation Legacy is meant to look like a faded comic book. That's his first appearance there. So I was just sort of guessing on the colors, and I keep tweaking them, but eventually there is newer art of Disparation Legacy that ends up getting used. So don't get too attached to these desaturated colors. I do still really like them, honestly. The desaturated colors are cute in their own way, but I like what we end up going with. Me. This design is not decided by committee. I have Ram's input on designs sometimes, but he's currently at a card gaming event while I'm doing voiceover, so I don't think he's gonna be in this one. Anyway, I really wanted to work in that light blue that Disparation Legacy has. I'm looking right at him, I should remember his name. But I really end up liking the, I was gonna say the pattern, but it's gone now. Anyway, I'm just sort of lining up all of my designs here to see what I like about them. I do miss some of the footage that I had audio-wise about my design process, because that was something that I wanted to do here, is talk more about my design process. For instance, you'd get to hear me gush about how much I like pleated skirts. I love pleated skirts. It's another thing that I have to keep myself from putting on every single character. They're so fun to draw. And you can do so many things like action pose-wise with them. Anyway, here I am adjusting the constellation for the 40th time and just making it fit right there in the center. We've returned once more to drawing the cape. I've abandoned the half cape idea because I want to do something more similar to normal Disparation Legacy. Another thing I was thinking about when I was designing this character is what to name her. See, normal young Legacy is just referred to as Legacy in universe once she takes her father's place, and I think normal Legacy is called Heritage, which is a silly name, but you know, it's a comic book. But I like the name that I end up giving her. Oh, Disparation Legacy is also known as America's boldest legacy, so I couldn't just call her. Actually, I think the Critophile is named Youngest Boldest Legacy, which would be really funny to name her, but that doesn't fit very well in a comic book, so I had to think of something else to name her. I'm playing with the contrast here for the inside of her cape because I don't want her to just get swallowed up in a sea of red back there. I'm tweaking the constellation again. The design here, like the outline of it, the general silhouette, is basically done. I tweak a couple things like shape-wise. Oh no, I'm back to the half cape concept. I really like half capes. I will attempt to put a half cape on a character design that does not need a half cape. That's how much I like them. No, but seriously, the silhouette is mostly well defined by now. For all the little thumbnail sketches of the character I did, I don't end up straying too much from the design, like, shape-wise of original Young Legacy. I'm so glad I did them though. I'm glad that I tried the bodysuit idea even if it didn't turn out. And I'm really happy with the sort of starburst effect that I'm getting here. And then I just sort of copy over the colors from the previous one to save some time and tweak it to fit the new silhouette. And to fit, of course, the new sort of cape. I forget what those are called when the cape, like the cape attaches to the thing. Anyway, I was really excited about the, like the star pattern going over part of the cape. And then I'm gonna add the little star emblem in the center of that little connection there. I decided I wanted to put some white stripes on her cape for a bit of detail. Now that I look at them though, they seem a bit familiar. Ah. Well, there's no changing it now, I'm sure it's fine. I'm gonna define her face here a little bit. I really wanted her facial features to resemble her dad's, and I wasn't certain what hairstyle I wanted her to have in the beginning. I toy around a bit with giving her a hairstyle that resembles, sort of shape-wise or silhouette-wise, Young Legacy's, but none of it's working for me. Also, fun fact, I fully hallucinated the fact that Young Legacy had a ponytail. I think I was thinking of Tachyon because she is also blonde and she has a ponytail, but nope, Young Legacy just has flowing blonde hair. Here I am going with a more loose hairstyle for her, and I shape it a lot more than this, but this is roughly what I ended up going with. I really wanted to keep the, a lot of Sentinel characters have this actually, and I do like it, just the one strand of hair from the center of the part swooping down around the face. And Young Legacy has it, and I really wanted to include that as a detail, but I just couldn't make it work with her hair texture, which I was sort of guessing from the original image of Disparation Legacy. I just couldn't make it work with her hair texture, so I do eventually scrap it right there. But yeah, this is the design mostly finished, of course, right up until we find the new image of Disparation Legacy and have to change all the colors. But now I moved on to her more sort of finished, polished image that I'm going to use for the faux comic book cover at the end. And I did use some references for this again, just because it makes it a whole lot easier. And here you can see that lovely pleated skirt, line of action, swoopy action pose stuff. I just like drawing skirts and capes on things. It's so great to convey movement. I wanted a lot of movement and energy in this pose because I was envisioning her as like her debut comic cover. I do give her a background that is reminiscent of Young Legacy's sort of comic card there as well. And now that I'm basically done with the sketch, I transfer it into a new canvas and select an appropriate brush size and start with the lining. This is a really fun part of the process for me because I can see the design, which started from a couple inspirational characters, to a finished illustration. Line art is not always easy, but it is definitely fun. I've been trying to work on better line weights in my drawings as well, and hopefully that shines in some of this. I really like using this one like dry markery brush for all of my liner. I think it gives it really good texture, and I also like adding like custom blocks of like you'll end up seeing it with her hair, where I like to add, instead of just paint bucketing like black or really dark brown in this scenario, scribbling in individually that texture. I like it a whole lot, and I think if I knew how to use Krita better, I could probably figure out how to make that like a preset texture for like fill layers and stuff, but I don't know how to use it, and therefore I just do it by hand and also copy pasting every time I have to do it. Like there, it's there. Instead of paint bucketing, you just sort of scribble it in. It gives it a fun little texture. I've been working a lot on like several different drawings because Art Fight is coming up, and by coming up I mean it's not for several months now, but I have been redoing or making entirely new character references because I love Art Fight so much. I'm so excited for it. It's my favorite part of the year. That's exaggerating, but truly it kind of is. Anyway, we found the new Disparation Legacy thing, and now we can correct all of the colors. I will miss the desaturated colors, but these ones are honestly gorgeous. They're super bright and they're amazing, and I'm really excited, honestly, that I get to use these super bright colors for the final illustration. And here's the fun bit. I'm just basically coloring in all the pieces, you know, bit by bit. Honestly, my coloring technique is super inconsistent. There are times where I like color the entire piece and then go into clipping groups and add sort of color by color. But here, since I already like knew all of the colors and stuff, I just sort of paint bucketed in, which I know can lead to like little white gaps and things and stuff, but you know, it was fun. It was a good time, okay? While we're here, I'd like to mention that even the new Disparation Legacy art doesn't show us what color the boots are, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. But I used up pretty much every color from the original design. I got some of that yellow, some of that white, some of that dark blue, some of that light blue. One of the things that I do regret that I couldn't include is those weird little notches like on the waistband of the Superman underwear bit. I'm sad that I couldn't include those. It was in one of the designs. I don't remember which, but those are fun. Anyways, here I'm just going to start to add shadow and detail. I'm going to add some highlights later, as well as play around with, I forget what like the term for it artistically is, but when you shade something that is in sunlight, you shade it in like a like one color, and then you add on the edge of that shadow a different color to communicate the sun, and she is in direct sunlight in the final thing, and I don't think I fully keep that, but I do try. Oh, I also give her eyeshadow because I thought it would be cute and stand out on her face a little bit more. I do all of the background work and lettering off camera. Her name, which I decided is going to be America's Brightest Legacy, again, reference to the star bit that was totally planned from the beginning. And I referenced the legacy bit from the new art of Disparation Legacy because I couldn't get it to work otherwise. But here she is. I'm super happy with how she turned out. I love the designing for her. This is going to be probably the last Sentinels themed video I do for a while, but I've got some other art themed videos planned that I'm super excited about, and if you enjoyed this or some of the other videos that I've done so far, I hope you tune in to watch those. Anyway, thank you for watching this so much, and have a good one!